door. Stop heading for the car you gave me. Can't apologize. I can't apologize, you ain't there. I'm in it for the night. I'm in it for the night we had here. You know it don't feel right. If ever there's a time, if ever there's a time that ain't fair, I can't afford a lie. I can't afford to lay the night down. You're way too drunk to drive. You're way too drunk to drive. Just stay there. You know it's just a fight. I know you want it right. You're never getting out of this me. Don't get it. You know your own plans. Don't get it. Don't get it. So looking for a knock. So looking through the door, get lay there. Can't afford a lot. I can't afford to lay the night down. You're way too drunk to drive. You're way too drunk to drive. Just stay there. You know it's just a fight. So ready for the door. So ready for the car you gave me. I can't apologize. I can't apologize. You ain't there. I'm in it for the night. I'm in it for the night. You know it don't feel right. I know you wanna ride. I know you wanna ride.
'Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Battleground Grappling Invitational 7 weigh-ins. Thank you very much for being patient. We're here today. We've got an amazing lineup of fights, an amazing lineup of grapplers and athletes all over Australia. We've come together to put on a show. So without further ado, let's get the show on the road. I'll hand over to my colleague, Joe Skiba, to begin the initial call-out.
Right, first up, we're going to be starting with the kids juniors card. First up, we have Mason Lucas from Gemini Sport. $29.1 kilograms. And next up, we've got Frankie Broom from West Coast Jiu-Jitsu. Weighing in at 30 even.
For our second contest of the night, Ezekiel Falalay from the We-Stroke Combat Academy up against Ashton Fleetwood from Drillage Combat Academy. Ezekiel, if you could come up, please. .34, 48.5. And Ashton, if you come up to the stage on the right, please. Ashton Fleetwood, 55.6 kilos.
Right, next up we'll have Evan Hancock from Gracie Baja and Cortez Dorset Harvey from Phronesis. Come on up, Evan. $67.4. And up Cortez. Cortez 67.7.
Next up, we have Torres Caro from GCJ Academy and Mac Robertson from the Mandra Combat Sports Academy. Torres, if you can come up, please. $53 even. Mac Robertson to the stage, please. $52.6, Mac Robertson.
And the final matchup for our juniors, Marley Passion from Costa Academy and Shay Cresswell from C2 Martial Arts. Come on up, Marley. 62.3 for Marley. And Shay, come on up. Shay weighs in at 62.8.
And next up, first of our women's adult matches, we have Ayosha Clements from Essence BJJ up against Maya Stepanovic from Valley Jiu-Jitsu. Ayosha, if you come to the stage, please. Ayosha Clements, 64.8 kilos. Maya, if you can come up to the stage, please. $63.5 for Maya.
And up next we have Taro Clemens from Essence BJJ up against Nicholas Woolman from Gracie Bar. Taro up to the stage. $93.6 for Taro. And Nicholas Woolman. Weighing in at 92.3 kilograms.
And for our next bout, if we could have Shane Keeswile from Northside BJJ and Dustin Miller from Strike MMA approach the stage, please. Shane, if you come up first. Shane weighing in at 65.6 kilos. And Dustin, if you come up. Dustin weighing in at 66.5 kilos.
Our next bout, Jackson Egan from Wolves Den versus Cyprian Rogozinski from Lemos Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Jackson, come up to the stage. Jackson, 76.3 kilograms. And Cyprian, approach the stage. $74.4.
Next to the stage, can we have Tariq Abdelrahim from Enzo Jiu-Jitsu up against Jack Catabut from Louis Stroke Combat Academy. Tariq, if you can come to the stage, please. Tariq weighing in at 88.9 kilos. Jack to the stage. Jack weighing in 90.1 kilos.
For our next bout, coming from Immersion MMA, Chris Triantopoulos versus Alex Nichols from Coringa. Chris is 89.6 kilograms. And Alex Nichols. $85.8 kilograms.
For our next bout, Thomas Ayers from Craig up against Samuel Ortiz from Louis Stroke Combat Academy. Thomas, if you come to the stage, please. $77 even for Thomas up against Samuel. Samuel to the stage, please. $76.4 for Samuel Ortiz.
And our next one, Egert Messick against Elias Donatelli from Evolution MMA. Egert to the stage. $74.8. And Elias. Elias, 73 even.
For our next bout, we have Joseph Turner from Saltwater Jiu-Jitsu up against Adam Papal from Gracie Barra. Joseph, you come to the stage. Joseph Turner, 81.4. Alan Papal, 77.9.
For our next bout, welcome Tony Sips from Essence BJJ and Sanjay Nambiar from Costa Academy. Tony, come on up. Come on down. $68 even. Sanjay, come on up. $67.1 for Sanjay.
Next up to the stage, we have Lara Dempsey of Hall of Martial Arts up against Victoria Gonzalez from Beachside Jiu-Jitsu. Lara, if you can come to the stage, please. Just hold 1 second, Lara. Thanks. Lara Sips, 64.7 kilos. Next up to the stage, we have Victoria Gonzalez. $63.4 for Victoria.
And for our next match, Gabriel Mateos Dare from West Coast Jiu-Jitsu. Up against Abu Bakr Muhammad Ali from Gracie Barra. $81.8. $80 even kilograms.
As we move ever closer to our main card, we have Luke Marco from 10th Planet Adelaide up against Susuke Ashima from Kotobuki Jiu-Jitsu. Luke, to the stage, please. Next up, Sasuke. $89.4 for Sasuke and 86 even for Luke.
Returning again for our next bout, Brody McCraner from Legion 13 and Rory Matthews from Absolute MMA. Brody, come on up. Brody comes in 75.5 kilograms. Come on up, Rory. Rory, 76.4.
Next to the stage for our first combat jiu-jitsu match of the night, Ray Caratiana from Raw MMA up against Narek Tumayan from Luis Stroh Combat Academy. Ray, please approach the stage. Ray Caratiana, 65.5. Narek to the stage. Narek weighs in at 69.6.
Right. For our next bout, Kemal Ahundas from Absolute MMA up against Simon Reyes from Essence BJJ. Come on up, Kemal. $92.4. And come on up, Simon. Simon weighs in at 93.4 kilos.
Next to the stage, can we have Aaron Mayer from Absolute MMA up against Josh Peaches Stolten from Taurus BJJ. Aaron weighs in at 63.9 kilos. Josh to the stage. Josh weighs in at 63.4 kilos.
For our next combat grappling match, we have Steamroller Steve Kennedy from Kick-Ass MMA coming up against James Wong from Wolves Den. $88.2 kilos for Steve Steamroller Kennedy. And 87 even for James Wong.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we move into the main card, give it up for the first up, Dominic Unamuno from Ground Zero Atlantic Grappling, and Joshua Shipton for Luis Stroke Combat Academy. Dominic weighs in at 96.9. Joshua at 96.7 kilos. Sure to be one hell of a matchup.
Coming up next, welcoming back from all the way from Japan, we have Daiki Yonakura from Igloo versus Josh Alsop from Kumite Jiu-Jitsu AOJ. Come on up, Daiki. $63.1 for Daiki. Come on up, Josh. $93.5.
And finally, for your main event of the evening, give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Anton Minonenko from Ghana Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu up against the reigning champion Kaya Rudolph from Absolute MMA. Anton, come to the stage, please. Anton Minonenko at 88.6 kilograms. Champion to the stage, please. The champion, Kaya Rudolph, 89.3. Sure to be one hell of a matchup, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you can agree. One more time, give it up. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back shortly for a press conference. Stay right with us. We will be back shortly. So all members of the main card, please stay around because you'll be doing in the press conference, yeah? So don't be going anywhere.
All right, guys, we'll just get the guys. If your name's on the table, just make your way up and we'll start your section of the press conference. We got 2 more seats that we need. That'll be for the second. Oh, the second. Yeah, it's on. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen in the stadium and ladies and gentlemen watching at home, welcome to Battleground Grappling Invitational. I'm here with some of our main card. To start though, I'm going to open with our owner and organizer, George Garley. George, tell us what you've gone through today to bring everyone here.
It's been a bit of a wild ride on the last 2 weeks, but you know, we're here and that's what matters the most. There's been a few dramas. Obviously, as you guys know, we had the Benda Stadium booked. There were some dramas happening with that. I won't go too much into details. All that really matters right now is that we can keep the show going and, you know, give these guys the platform they deserve. You know, of course, they've been working really hard to get to this stage, and we don't want to cancel the show for them. So it's all about these guys. So yeah.
Thank you, George. Battleground Grappling Invitational 7, sponsored by Raw Mixed Martial Arts MMA for all your MMA needs. So going into our first match of the day, Ray Karatiana versus Narek Tomayan. Ray, tell us a little bit about your preparation for tomorrow's event.
It's been hectic, as you know. You've been slaughtering me for weeks now with these big guys. But hey, at the end of the day, you know, like I said, the bigger they are, baby, the harder they fall. Let's go.
Thank you very much, Ray. And Narek, the same question to yourself. Have you been preparing for tomorrow's event?
Yeah, no, I'm always prepared. I've been training at Essence a lot. Jake's been good help. I really appreciate the team there. But yeah, no, I'm gonna smash this guy. Round number 1.
So, Narek, last time we saw you at Battleground, you were actually in the gi, and this time a bit of a departure going into the combat grappling. Is this an area that you've been wanting to branch into, or something that you're looking to actually pursue in the future as well?
Yeah, all due respect, man, I don't really like the gi. Obviously George matched me up in the gi match, so I took it. But yeah, no, I mean, no gi's all good. You know, I like no gi. I like the more MMA scene, I guess. Like jiu-jitsu is just a side thing, I guess, you know. But yeah, if George matches me up with someone, I'm more than happy to take it, you know.
And Ray, I know you have quite a playful style from, you know, my history of rolling with you when I've done it before. How is that going to change in this kind of match where you're looking more at a combat style? Can we see a bit of playfulness from you, or is it a bit more business this time?
I don't know. As you know, and a lot of people will know, I like to play a little bit. You know, play with my food, baby. So we'll see how we go. But I think I'm gonna go in a little bit serious, and then let's see how it goes from there.
Alrighty, so I've got so I know both you, Simon, and both you, Kamal, personally. Both debut fighters on the show. How has your preparation been, firstly, for you, Simon? And has anything changed in the last couple of months in regards to preparation for? I believe you had a previous match, but then Kamal stepped in for the next one.
Yeah, so cheers for Kamal for stepping in. The preparation's always the same. Like I do FIFO, so I'm only home for a week, so every week's always hard. Always at the gym, it's always hard training, big boys, so always the same. I'm always prepared. I haven't stopped really training without comp class for the last 6 months, 1 year or so. Ever since I got my black belt, it's been hard training, just in the silence, just training. So, yeah.
Awesome, man. Congrats on that. Kamal, how has your preparation been leading up to this? How do you see the match going? And like, do you have anything to say to the crowd? You're a very talkative person usually.
Again, I would like to say thanks for taking the match as well. Yeah, my preparation was very good. Thanks to my friends, my training partners at Absolute MSC with Jens and Killer. I feel ready for this.
In your interview, you mentioned that you both like to play on the top and the bottom. What did you mean by that particularly?
Yeah, that sounded. I said, video guys hit me up. Thanks to Ritoli. Yeah, I say I like wrestling, passing, playing guard, everything equally.
Simon, you've been on the scene for a long time. A lot of people in WA know your face, but for the ones who haven't seen you in competition before, how would you explain your style of grappling? What would you say? How would you explain the way that you do things?
Very unpredictable. I am a big guy, so no one really expects me to be very flexible and very explosive. So it always catches their eye when I go for it. But like half guard, rambles, grab, whatever, ready for anything.
I've been training with some pretty cool dudes recently in your gym. You've been lucky. What's that been like? Having such high-level competitors in the Stroke Combat Academy and working with you every day.
It's always a privilege seeing other competitors come down and learning and just getting a feel of like training. People coming from different gyms and like training is like really good, you know. Like everyone's always welcome at Essence, so the more people, the more better.
I did mean Essence, sorry about that. All right, thank you very much. Moving on to our next event. Josh Peaches Stolton up against Adam Mayer. Josh, fantastic performance last time out on Battleground. It was really, really competitive effort. What changes have you made? What refinements have you made for your matchup with Adam?
No real changes, really. The prep kind of pretty much stays the same. Like, we're always ready. Pretty much most jiu-jitsu athletes, we're kind of always ready, always training, always ready to kind of throw down. Yeah, just obviously Aaron is definitely a lot more of a wrestler, whereas Daiki is obviously a little bit more of a leg locker. So, yeah, so it's kind of changing up a little bit with that. But yeah, it's just been, just same as always, really. Just nothing's really changed as much, but just kind of putting that little bit into the training.
Cool. And Aaron, tell us a bit about your style that you're bringing to the table for those who are unfamiliar with you. Josh just did mention a bit more about wrestling. Are you the sort of person that really comes out all guns blazing, looking for the takedown and a finish, or are you someone that likes to play around a little bit?
Definitely play around a little bit. I mean, it's a 10-minute match, so I'm going to use my wrestling, my passing. Can't guarantee a first-minute submission. It's a difficult thing to do, so definitely not going to be going 100% straight out the gate, but I've had good prep, had good training partners mimicking Josh's style, guys like Daiki, guys like Mikhail. Yeah, feel ready.
Alrighty, so I have a question for you, Aaron. I've noticed that you're chewing something up on stage. Can you tell me what you're chewing and its health benefits?
I mean, having healthy teeth is good, so I like chewing gum.
What gum is it?
Normal gum.
All right. He'll duck the question. Anyway, Peaches. So always an exciting fighter. All right, you're a tough man, always taking the matches. All right, and and props to you. It's an awesome, awesome gig. How do you see the match going without giving too much away to your opponent, obviously?
I'm gonna win.
Just a solid,
Yeah,
journey,
yeah,
destination.
Yeah. No, I think it's gonna be a bit of a scrappy fight. I think like we both kind of have a bit of a kind of scrappy style and stuff, so it can go anywhere. You know, I'm gonna try and put it where I want to, and kind of keep it there as much as I can. But yeah, Aaron's a game opponent. You know, it's gonna be a good fight. So I'm hoping, or I think it's gonna probably be one of the fight of the nights. A bit of a clash of styles. You know, me being more of a kind of a jiu-jitsu guy more than anything. And then Aaron being a wrestler as well. So yes, it's going to be a bit of a good fight. So yeah.
I think it'll be an amazing match. I'm looking forward to it a lot.
Josh, I just want to ask as well, who is it that you actually look to for inspiration, or someone that you follow closely in the jiu-jitsu community and the wider jiu-jitsu community that you like to either emulate or that you follow closely to help your own jiu-jitsu grow, being that you're the head coach of your own gym?
Yeah, anyone small, really. That's it. So Daki's one of them, to be honest. So anyone that's kind of like around 60, 70 kilos, you know. But obviously my head coach is Ash Williams over in the UK, in Wales. So yeah, I'm always speaking to him and stuff like that as well, and things like that. So a lot of my game is kind of from him as well. So yeah, there's lots of different people that kind of have influences on my jiu-jitsu. So. Yeah.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be back shortly with our next group of competitors.
BZX music. BZX music.
Boys, we're just waiting on Steve Kennedy, so when he comes, boo him. Taiki, do you have a translator? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for part 2 of our press conference to our esteemed organizer. George, tell us a little bit around the matchup between Josh and Daiki and what happened there.
It was a very interesting matchup. So originally we had Josh. He was scheduled to face someone else on the card, and we were trying to find a match for Daiki. The thing is, at the weight division Daiki is quite hard to find matches at his level, and most of the guys that we did reach out to had rejected the fight. Obviously, the last battleground we had Daiki versus another opponent who decided to pull out last minute. So shout out to Peaches for jumping on that fight. But yeah, just in general, it's quite hard to find a matchup for him at his weight division. So you know, we told Daiki, we said, hey man, unfortunately we can't find anyone at that weight, and Daiki suggested he's happy to fight at any weight level, which, you know, captured my attention because I thought that was pretty cool. Give me a little flashback of the early Pride days, and you know, being a Japanese martial artist himself, like, made it even cooler in that sense. So Josh, we hit up Josh to take up the fight, and Josh said, hell yeah, he didn't have to cut weight. So here we are.
So Josh, you brought your gi on today, and you're a brown belt versus obviously Daiki, who's a black belt. How do you feel in terms of the difference being brown versus black, but having a weight advantage? What do you think is going to come out on top the most in this match? Given that you have such a weight advantage, do you think you'll be able to come out with the win?
I don't see color, so it's all the same to me. I do plan on winning. That's my plan, at least. So hopefully that follows through. But I mean, I've been competing against black belts since I was a blue belt, so it doesn't really make a difference to me.
Did you prepare specifically for Daiki? You know, I find particularly smaller people can actually be quite hard to verse because they have a lot of movement that you don't usually have. So have you been able to find training partners that have been able to mimic his style?
Yeah, I usually go for the smallest people in the training room anyway. I just find that's just easier. So typically what I go for. But no, I mean, there's definitely different challenges that a smaller opponent presents. Obviously, like, knees to chest are going to be a lot tighter. He's going to be a lot more flexible. So it's not just to say just because you're bigger, it's going to be easier. It's just going to be different. So I'm just going to have to use a different style of jiu-jitsu to what I normally use against people my own weight.
Alrighty, I've got a question for Daiki. So Daiki, obviously being the smaller the opponents, you actually have won the absolute division at Panpax before, so it's not the first time you're fighting bigger opponents. Do you think you can submit Josh in 1 minute?
この前のパンパシの無差別とかも含めて大きい相手との試合結構経験あると思うんですけど、この前みたいに1分で決めるっていうような自信はありますか?
So I think I'll get to submit him, but so I need it might take time.
And also, you made a video about if he was to tap, that you might not let go immediately. Is this true?
相手がタップしても離さないぞっていうビデオを作ってましたけど。
Maybe.
Sick.
And Daiki, I just want to know, why exactly did you take this fight knowing that you would be at such a big weight disadvantage these days with these kinds of matchups? People are reticent to take fights that are too much of a weight disadvantage. Why did you take this fight?
なんで不利になるの分かっててもこの試合を受けた理由とか。
So first, I need more experience. So because so it's difficult. So yeah, I need more experience. But first,
Stephen Kennedy, what was your original plan for Saturday night before George came calling?
It was my birthday today, actually.
Happy birthday, Steve.
So, but I wasn't going to celebrate or anything because that was the old me. Just on the straight and narrow now and just training hard and
sure you are.
Or any opportunity to grapple. I would be entering all the local comps, so I just can't afford the entry fee. So yeah, this is a great way to get some grappling in. Thanks to James for accepting the fight. Originally, I didn't know who they were talking about. I thought it was going to be a small Asian guy like him, but he doesn't look like a Wong at all.
Does not look like Gabriel Wong, not at all. James, talk to us a little bit about the change of opponents and if that's changed your thoughts about the match, or you're not going to change your preparation, but how you feeling about it?
When I heard that John initially wasn't going to make the fight, it wasn't same mind frame as we trained for all fighters. I was hoping that some gangster was going to step up to take the fight, and as soon as I heard George say that Steve was keen to fight, I was like, let's go. Lap the shit out of each other and have a beer afterwards.
So no beers, no.
No beers.
Celery juice.
Yeah.
Celery juice.
Carrot juice only, Steve. Yeah. So James, you're coming up against someone who's, he's got over 30 fights to his name. And John's an experienced competitor as well, and we understand that. But, does that change your approach to the match at all? Or are you thinking just going to go in there and do what you do?
I'll stick to my original game plan that I had with John. I know that Steve's had vast experience with grappling and also MMA. So I'll also be wary that he's a very talented and experienced fighter. So I won't rush into it. I'll be more calculated, but I know it'll be a wrestling fight for the get-go of the first round and second round. And if we do make it to the third round, I'll unleash and be good for the fans.
And Steve, how do you deal with an athlete like James? You've seen him on the stage. He's a bit of a beast, isn't he? So how are you going to deal with that?
Yeah, I'm a bit of an athlete myself. I reckon I'll just make him tired. So we can make him tired and then start just manhandling him physically.
Next question I have is for Josh Shipton. You've come off 2 wins from Battleground previously in quite spectacular fashion. Are you going to have a similar approach to this match, or are you changing things up a little bit with a different tactic?
I don't know. I don't really feel like I ever have an approach. I just go in and hope I win. So yeah, kind of doing the same thing.
And for those who don't know you, Dominic, can you just describe a bit of your, obviously without giving out away too much, some of your sort of A game that you bring in your matches usually?
Yeah, I think I was known as a leg locker early in mid last year, but I've been working on quite a few new approaches to my game. So trying to use this stage as an opportunity to, test those out and showcase them. But if worse comes to worse, I'll jump on a heel and call it a night.
I know Tito couldn't do it, so we'll see if you can.
Yeah, true.
Dominic, I've never seen you before. I'm looking forward to seeing you in action. You must be a good grappler if you're being matched up against Josh. But I've got a question for Josh, because Josh, I've been watching
He's
you.
way better than me. He's beat way better people than I have.
Yeah, well, Josh, I've been watching you the last year, watching you train at gym to gym to gym, putting yourself up against the best grapplers in every single gym that you go in. You walk every time I watch you walk into a different gym, you're calling out the top dog in there. I've seen you doing that, and I like that. But what I'm going to say to you is, you've obviously what's your strategy around trying to improve, and how do you see that impacting on this fight?
How do I get better? I don't know. I'm kind of autistic, so I just like watch a lot of jiu-jitsu, and I don't know how to flow roll either. So I either watch a lot of jiu-jitsu or just train really hard, and there's kind of no in between. And Mikhail's laughing because he knows it's so true. Yeah.
And how do you think that's going to impact this fight?
I don't know. No idea. Hopefully I don't get leg locked. That's just my only thing. Yeah.
Josh, I'd like to say, maybe a year or two ago, I saw you competing locally, and you came off from that match a little bit grumpy that the guy wouldn't stand and wrestle with you. Are you going to be a bit sad if Dominic pulls guard?
No, I was kind of immature back then. I feel like I've grown to appreciate jiu-jitsu as a whole, and I'm not that like sulky, grumpy guy who only wanted to wrestle. But I do enjoy wrestling, so if Dominic wants to wrestle, I'd be very keen.
Yeah, I have a question for Dominic. So Dominic, I actually haven't seen you compete live, but I have watched videos and footage of you rolling, and it was very impressive. You did mention before that you were a leg locker, and I'm sure your game's developed since. Obviously, Josh loves his takedowns. Do you think you'll give it a shot in the stand and bang? And
Yeah, I think one of my biggest fears is being considered a coward. So I'm definitely going to stand with Josh when the match starts. But I also want to win. So there might come a time where I put my ass on the ground, but I would like to step in his territory and test myself out, because my wrestling's also not my strongest suit. So if something happens out of that, that'd be quite nice.
yeah, fair enough, man. I have a question for you, Shippo. So in your last match, you technically did get Ippon if it was a judo match, but you did reverse it.
I got Ippon. You don't know the rules, bro. That was my Ippon.
Yeah, but this is a jiu-jitsu match, all right?
No, but in judo, I would have won that.
All right, calm down, mate. Calm down. If Dominic ends up taking you down, are you gonna get salty?
No, I get taken down in the gym all the time. I'd be surprised if he did, but I wouldn't be super salty, no.
All right, thank you, Josh. I've got a question for Josh Alsop now. Josh, I'll say Josh number one. So Josh, we did talk about the preparation leading up before with the match with Daiki, and you did jokingly say that you roll with the smallest people in the room, but I totally believe it too. It is pretty fun. Emulating the style and the pace that he brings, obviously having Ari to roll with can mimic that to a degree, but obviously having different like limb length. Do you think that Ari's prep with you is gonna get you the victory? And if so, is it gonna be via a back choke or a mount strangle?
In training with Ari certainly doesn't hurt. I wouldn't say he was the guy I trained with the most leading up to this. Young Jun Kim, if you're familiar, the Supreme.
I am
Jun
familiar.
Kim.
I am familiar.
Similar sort of build to Daiki, and he's super strong for his size. So trained with him a lot. Just trained with the same people really. I feel like ultimately most people have a similar game to him these days. At least the guys I train with. So the only adjustment I really have to think about is like limb length, basically. But yeah, good training partners at Kumite, Sydney Wrestling Academy. And yeah, just did as many rounds as I could with as many good people.
Daiki, you look like you've got something you want to say.
なんか言いたいことあったら一言お願いします。
So first, thank you, Josh, for accepting the match. So tomorrow I'll do my best. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Daiki. Moving on to our main event. Anton, you look very confident. You look like you're ready. Talk to us a little bit about how you see the match going tomorrow.
I don't know, guys. I think that Kai kind of made some comments online, and I didn't really enjoy a bunch of the stuff that he said, just because I think it was a little disrespectful to my skill. And I think I haven't been too active in the last 2 years. I've been training this and that, but I haven't really been competitive and hitting a bunch of competitions. So I think I'm looking forward to a 15-minute brawl with somebody that's very technical, and if he can't finish 5 minutes, I think I'm going to bash him for 15 minutes. That's really what I think is going to happen. So he's a very technical guy. I think he's very skilled, but I've fought some of the best guys on the planet. I've trained with some of the best guys on the planet, and I haven't found too many guys that are giving me that much trouble that are like going to be able to just wipe the floor with me. Kind of how he was talking online. So I'm looking forward to it. And I think if he can't finish me early, I think I'm going to bash the fuck out of him for 15 minutes.
Guy, what do you think about that?
I'm just excited. Working? I'm just excited for him to bring it. So make it happen.
There's something about what he said, Anton, that got underneath your skin.
Look, I don't get too emotional. Like when I was younger, I used to get a little bit more aggressive and stuff like that. But look, guys are going to talk online. They're going to say this and that. I don't get to go and train and compete all the time, unfortunately, because of my situation, finances, and that type of thing. So I manage the best I can. And I've been competitive with the best guys in the world. And, you know, saying that I'm a bit cagey and that type of thing, I've got probably the most highlight finishes of any of the guys in Australia that compete regularly. And I'm got a lot. Go watch some stuff on YouTube, whatever. Like, I just think, I don't know if he believes what he's saying. I think he just had to say something to look, you know, powerful online or something like that. But look, man, I have a pretty convincing resume. I have a bunch of different dudes. I train with so many different guys, and I just don't see how he's going to finish me in 15 minutes on the legs. I don't think I've been finished on the legs in competition since I was probably like a blue or purple belt when I didn't know what a straight foot lock was. Man, I'm very confident, and I'm consistent and disciplined. The only reason I can be competitive with such high level guys that are, you know, juiced to the gills or training full time, they're all training in professional teams and that type of thing is because of how hard I work. And yeah, I just think people have forgotten how good I actually am, and I want to show that tomorrow.
Thank you, Anton.
Anton, can you just tell us as well, what asset do you believe is
I'm going to be able to overwhelm him and physically bully him in minutes. If I find an opportunity to submit him, I will do my best to do that. He's tough, he's a gamer, he's going to fight hard. I have absolute respect for his, but I'm coming.
And Kaya, same question for you. What asset do you believe is your strongest, and how's that going to help you win the match?
I think my flexibility is probably my strongest suit. But yeah, he's going to come in really strong. But I've dealt with a lot of high level guys who are just as big, just as stronger. Like fought Luke Griffith, he's got silver ADCC, so I don't think it's going to be anywhere as hard as that.
I'd also like to know, just sort of casting our eyes further abroad, who at the moment in the upper echelons of jiu-jitsu do you believe that you could genuinely beat in a match?
Like anyone in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
I believe I could beat Jacob Couch.
Nice one.
Yeah, I got a question for both you boys. Obviously, I know the both of you, and Anton, you've been around the scene for just as long as probably I have. I've known you probably since you were maybe even a teenager. You're competing at the time of like blue belt, purple belt. You have a lot of experience coming in from the older school style of jiu-jitsu, and now it's meeting towards the newer style. Obviously, Kaya being very young, you've mentioned that you're gonna brute force overpower him over like the 15 minutes, and you plan on crushing him with that. How much of your experience over the years do you think will play a factor in your potential victory tomorrow?
I don't think just because I'm going to brute force him and just do whatever I want. I'm going to be very technical and tactical. He has his skills. I have my skills. I have things that I can capitalize on. He has capitalize on. Of course, man, he has good leg locks. He has a very hard guard to pass. He has all his skills, and he actually wrestles fairly well. I think he's fairly well-rounded. I think I'm fairly well-rounded. I just don't see him being able to finish me in 15 minutes at all. I think that if I get deep on something, I can finish him. Again, 9 times out of 10, I believe I will win this match against him. Prove me wrong, prove everyone else that he's the one that can do that, but I just don't see him being able to finish me in 15 minutes. And I don't think he'll be able to overcome the physical difference. Like, we're similar weight now, but I don't believe we're the same. I think unless he's been on a cycle and he's got the B team stack or whatever these guys are using, I don't see him being able to physically compete with me. So that's what I think is going to happen.
Fair enough, well said. And for you, Kaya, he's mentioned a few times that he believes that maybe your only path to victory is leg locks. Now, I don't want you to give your strategy away or things you've been working on, but Do you think that that is the only way that you could beat him?
Definitely not the only way. There's other paths I can take to victory. If leg locks aren't going to work, I'll look for someone else.
Last two questions. Final word should always go to the champion. What are we going to expect tomorrow?
I'm going to put on a show tomorrow.
George, what can we expect from Battleground Grappling 7?
And I think this card is as tough as it was putting this card together and getting to the date itself. I think this card will be something special tomorrow, and I believe all these boys are really coming here to put on a show and to state their claims as well. So there's a lot of exciting fights on the card from our main cards to our prelims to our kids cards. We've got Sasuke, who's going to be fighting Luke Marco as well. That's a fight I'm really looking forward to. Luke is a young up and comer. He's been doing really well in the scene lately as well. And Sasuke recently got his brown belt, becoming the youngest brown belt in Japan. So I think both of these young kids have got a really, really good future ahead of them, and I think they're guys to keep an eye on for that fight. Another exciting fight is Rory Matthews versus Brody McKenna. That's an exciting fight as well to see. I'm excited to see all those fights. There's so many other fights to see. I'm intrigued and interested to see how the match between Josh and Daki goes as well. So yeah, it could be a boring fight, or it could be a very exciting fight. We'll find out in 24 hours time. So yeah.
And George, just one more question. What are you really hoping to see happen at BG7 this time?
When we originally started with Battleground, our goal first was to, give Perth a platform alongside all the other promotions in Australia, and we've succeeded in that. And with the growth of Battleground, we're able to make this a national event, and even becoming an international event now. So our goal remains the same. We really want to uplift Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Australia itself. So we go through all these things because we want to give these guys this platform, and I'm not saying that as, there's a lot of promoters that will say we're giving you a platform, so like bow to us and what's not, but we really want to give these guys a platform. So one day we can see the world come to Australia and we can see our athletes fight some of the best guys in the world. Once that stuff starts happening on a regular, I think we'll achieve our goal for Battleground.
Competitors, thank you very much for showing up. Thank you very much for your professionalism and your patience. Ladies and gentlemen at home, we'll see you all tomorrow for Battleground Grappling Invitational 7.
Awesome.